When it comes to agriculture, both large and small, bottom line, using the best soil possible to plant whatever you're growing is a must if you want satisfactory results.
Yeah, and leave it up to Ranger Nick to find a great source of that soil. And it should be noted that it took some digging around for him to find it.
Hey everybody, I got caught again. And as April continues, I get caught over and over, caught in rainstorms. And as I look down at the ground, you notice all those little wiggly worms all over the place. Would you believe that I'm standing in a room today full of thousands and thousands of worms? Each one of these bins is full of 1,500 of those guys. We're going to introduce you to two gentlemen that saw those wiggly worms, decided to make a business out of it to help farmers and urban agriculturalists all over the country. Can't wait to show you more about this. So I'm joined today by Mr. Morris and Mr. Lee over here at Winterville Worms. Mr. Morris, tell me, we're looking at a pile of soil here on a workbench. What did you used to do together with a pile of soil like this?
Well, about 2 years ago, we started a worm business called Winterville Worms, and we wanted to be able to contribute to the agricultural community, to put in good, to help to increase better soil. And so we started raising red wigglers. Now, the pile here is full of red wigglers. We turn the bin upside down because we want the worms to migrate to the bottom. And the light pushes them down to the bottom because they don't like the light. And this gives us an opportunity to begin to rake off what is known as castings. Okay. And that's the fertilizer that really helps to build the soil and make for great plants and great organic fertilizer.
Okay. That's worm poop. Is that what that is?
That's what it is. Yes, that's what it is, worm poop. And we would slowly pull it off and push it to the side, and eventually we would get down to the worms, and then we would separate the worms from all the casting, and then we would take the castings, dry it out, and put the worms in new bedding and start over, and that's how the production of it got started.
So this is kind of like a nursery. All right, Mr. Lee.
Yeah.
You guys both would sit at this very bench about 2 years ago and do just what we're doing right now. How did we get from this little pile of soil and worms to this room where I'm surrounded by, you guys say, millions of red wigglers? How did that happen?
Well, red wigglers are very prolific, and they reproduce rapidly. As a matter of fact, about every 4 to 6 weeks, they will double in population. They lay egg every day. Mature one does. That's 16 weeks on. And each egg will have from 5 to 7 baby worms in it. And so you're reproducing really rapidly. And as they do that, you know, we started out with 5,000 worms, just 5 pounds of worms. It's about 1,000 worms per pound. We started out with 5,000 worms. And so the next month we had 10,000 worms. And the month after that we had 20,000 worms. And the month after that 40, and then 80, and then 160, and then 320. You can see where that's going to go.
Wow.
In no time we were out of space, and we had to start creating room for these worms. And that's how we started building the shelves and making the aisles down here.
It's incredible. We're going to talk about how this thing went from this room to outside right now. All right, so Mr. Lee, we're back outside from the nursery, back outside to one of these hoop houses, and I'm pulling this back, and just look at the richness, look at the worms everywhere. Why is it that I have this, all of a sudden, an inkling for coffee? I smell coffee. What are these guys bedded in?
They're bedded in peat moss, but we feed them every week a mixture of Jittery Joe's used coffee grounds and corn powder and chicken crumbles, and we spread it over the bed every week, all right, and give them a little bit of water to keep it damp, and that's what they supplement their diet with. But they basically eat the bedding material. We supplement their diet with those other things.
Wow. And then as these worms are eating and they're digesting that material, we want to get to figure out how those castings come about in just a second. So let's go see what that's about. All right, so we're at the worm disco. I mean, check this thing out. It's a tumbler. Guys, this is a business. How are we getting from this worm disco over here to this bag of worm castings?
All right, what we do is we take the material from the bed that's got worms in it, it's got the worm castings in it. We bring it in here, we feed it into the end of the tumbler. The tumbler's 1/8 inch screen let in, 1/4 inch on this end. The castings come out, the 1/8 inch screen, the worms move down to the end and come out in the last couple of feet down here. And that way we can take the worms and either rebed them or put them up for sale. We gather the castings, we bag the castings for sale, or we put them in piles for people who buy in volume. Either way.
It's amazing to have a pile of worms that they can use for fishing, sell the bag of worm poop, the castings. Amazing. Guys, thank you all so much for hanging out with me today. I really, really appreciate y'all. Wish y'all the best. This is wonderful. Been a blast. Man, from starting in the nursery where the worms grow up to the worm disco and all the things that we learned about today with these little red wigglers, I have had a blast. I hope that this show has got you feeling warm and fuzzy inside. For the Farm Monitor, I'm Ranger Nick. You know the deal. Check us out on Facebook. Like my page on Facebook while you're there. Check out the Georgia Farm Monitor page and like that. And until next time, remember, enthusiasm's contagious, so pass it on. Have a great rest of the month, and we'll see you again next time. See ya.
All right, Nick, thank you, sir. Now, if you'd like more information on Winterville worms, just check out their website. That's castingcompostedworms.com. There's even a place on there where you can buy some of those little red wigglers and have them shipped straight to your doorstep.